Hello and welcome to episode 65 of Life in General. My name is Nick.
And I'm Sicky the Clown.
Aren't you always, though? Ian, you're like the sickest fucking person on earth.
Oh, I am not. I've been sick twice this year.
Twice?
Yeah. And I wasn't sick at all last year, so.
And we're barely into April and you've been sick twice.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but this like cold, I can't say anything. I was sicker than hell a couple weeks back.
Right.
And it lasted like for a while. I still don't feel great, but
Right.
I don't know what it is this year. But.
And I think that's why I got sick so soon after being sick the last time, because it only lasted like 4 days.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have a voice. I was coffee, and that was like 2 more days of recovery, and then it was fine.
Yeah, I got you. I was like puking and passed out in my hallway. Like I remember like walking to my I had to leave work early. I was so sick. I was like throwing up at work. And I came home and I'm like walking down my hallway, and then the next thing I know, I'm laying on the floor.
Right.
And my wife's tearing around the corner. I woke the kids up when I hit the ground. You know,
You're a big guy. You make noise when you fall. Yeah.
It's not great. Not one of my finest moments.
No.
But yeah, so I completely understand.
So, and I got sinus issues anyway, so it's not super common, but if I'm going to get sick, it's usually sinus related. So
I got you.
It's just a sinus thing. So.
Well, anyway, any questions or comments, you can email us at. Do you know what our email address is, Ian?
At lifeingeneralpodcast@gmail.com.
Huh?
I don't know.
What was that? Did you just say at?
I did. I did, because I'm so used to saying at. It's lifeingeneralpodcast@gmail.com.
No.
Well, why the fuck did you ask me?
It was kind of a trick question.
Okay.
So it used to be, so I had to change our email address.
Okay.
Normally, it used to be contact@lifeingeneralpodcast.com.
Yeah.
But, so we're having issues with our website.
Yeah.
And when I say issues, I mean they like jacked up the price, and I told them basically to go to hell.
Right.
So our website might be down for a month or two while I change it over to the new hosting site. So I had to create a new email address
for that, yeah.
So any questions or comments, you can email us at lifeingeneralpod@gmail.com.
Okay. So you intentionally set me up for disaster.
I did.
Why the fuck would you do that?
Because you never know. So
I never,
you
I don't know anyway.
anything.
So
you know nothing.
I know nothing about nothing.
You are the Jon Snow of the podcast.
And I would get that reference if I watched
Game of Thrones, because you're a fucking dumbass.
I just haven't watched it yet. I'll fucking watch it
eventually when it's over.
When it's over and no one's like, you have to watch this.
Because no one says that now because the last season sucked. So
I still get people go, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
Up until last season, it was really good. Then I was really disappointed by last season. But then again, last season was like 2 years ago.
Right.
So
a year and a half.
Well,
the new season starts in 2 weeks.
It starts the 14th.
So not even 2 weeks, next week.
So yeah, you can email us, hit us up on Twitter at LIGpod. We're on Facebook. The show's on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, pretty much everywhere else.
Yep.
Before we get into our episode, I need to touch on what we talked about last episode, which was
craziness.
The crazy flat Earth stuff. Yeah. So I spent a lot of time talking about this Brian Mullen character.
Okay.
And kind of some of the rationale he used on his channel to kind of reach the conclusions that he reached. Well, since last episode, it has been brought to my attention that apparently Brian Mullen no longer believes any of that and has shut down his YouTube channel and has disappeared from the Flat Earth conspiracy crowd.
So you're saying he got cured of his insanity?
I'm assuming he probably just went to an airplane and was like, oh shit. Oops. Sorry, guys.
I see the curvature of the Earth. I can't understand why they would lie to us anyway. Great, it's solved. There we go.
Yeah. And for people listening, I this past weekend I was in Chicago, and my wife and family, we went up to the top of Willis Tower, and I sent Ian this great picture of the skyline, and you could see a slight curvature.
Yeah. But it was the way the picture was taken.
It looked flat.
It looked flat because it was like with a phone camera, and
Well, my camera takes really good pictures,
does,
but it was a
it-
panoramic shot, is
right.
what it was.
So
So I was like, oh, see, look, the Earth is flat. It was
it's
great.
like, don't let that get out. You'll just make all the flat earthers say you proved it.
But anyway, I just wanted to let everyone know, if you listen to the Flat Earth episode, the kind of the basis of my argument was kind of shot to shit over the past week or so. I mean, that and the fact that the Earth is not flat kind of shot it to shit
Right,
too.
right.
But,
You were trying to come from it with on a middle ground kind of way, and with something like this, I don't think you can. But
I mean, you can.
you were
but-
trying to, and for what it's worth, you were at least trying to be unbiased, I suppose.
I was trying to play devil's advocate on some of the stuff,
Right.
but anyway, I'm looking forward to this episode. This is our big vinyl episode of April.
Okay,
That's kind of what it is.
all vinyl episodes are big.
That's true. But it's so we're going to talk Little Record Store Day, which is going to be what,
April 23rd.
April 13th.
Oh, 13th. Right.
God, Ian. But anyway,
Hey, Sicky the Clown here. My brain's a little mushy.
and what's your excuse the rest of the time then?
You don't need an excuse to have mushy brain.
Okay, spongy brain.
Well, that's kind of isn't it spongy anyway?
Well, yeah, a little bit. So yeah, because by the time this episode comes out, it's going to be less than a week from Record Store Day.
Yeah.
So I figured we'd talk about a little record Store Day. We're going to talk about some records that at least I found lately, and stuff that I'm looking forward to coming out. And eventually we're going to make it around to talking about HD vinyl, which I think is a really interesting idea.
Yeah, it's new. It's a new concept. The world of vinyl.
But yeah, so Record Store Day, April 13th. There's a bunch of places that are taking part in it.
Any store that sells vinyl is going to try to cash in on it.
Well,
To the
not
name.
really.
Everyone I've ever heard of does something for it.
So I was listening to a podcast not too long ago where the episode was the guy doing the episode was interviewing somebody that actually owns a record store. It's out in California, I believe. And what he was saying was a lot of stores are kind of getting out of doing the Record Store Day thing because there's you're basically buying all these records and holding them and making nothing off of any of them.
Huh.
So unless
Well, I just see it as an opportunity to get people in the store.
that's true, and like the record store we go to,
They always
they always do well. At least this year they're going to do a used vinyl sale also.
right.
So they're going to try and make some money off of that. But yeah, if you think about it, if you're buying all these units, and he said at least the guy I listened to, he said you don't make anything off of them. So you're buying all of this, and then you're holding them. How many times have you been in a record store and walked in and seen Record Store Day 2017 stuff? On the
Right.
shelf?
I still do, but for me, I've never been able to go, so it's always been cool to pick up the stuff that I couldn't get on Record Store Day.
Yeah. So that's why even there's some record stores in our area that I know aren't participating.
Huh. I just assumed they all did because all the ones I knew of did. But yeah,
Well, yeah, like
I don't understand why they don't make anything on it. Their markup should still be the same.
they said it's not. They said the markup's different. It is on the
Or they charge
the
more
distributor is charging more for these.
Huh. And they don't want to price themselves on the market, I guess.
No. So they're not. They're just selling them basically almost at cost,
See, that's-
or with a very. I mean, the markup on new vinyl, from what I've been told, is like 5% anyway. It's not a whole lot,
Right.
5 to 10%.
But at that level...
Whereas the markup on used vinyl is 100 to 300%.
Right. But see, that's kind of what hurt vinyl, hurt physical media in the first place, was you had all these places competing against each other. Your Best Buy comes in, they're selling CDs for $10.
Yeah.
And it was a lost leader, but they could afford to do it, whereas the mom and pops couldn't keep up with that.
Yeah. And yeah, so I don't know. I mean, yeah, so all the prices for Record Store Day stuff is going to be pretty much the same across the board.
Right.
Unless you get into the guy that bought them and then he's selling them on YouTube for, 1,000% markup.
Well, it would be YouTube. It'd be like...
I didn't mean YouTube. I meant eBay.
Right.
But yeah, I know there's some stuff on Record Store Day that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, me too.
And I kind of went back over because originally I looked at the list when they originally announced it, and I was like, okay, there's like 4 things I was kind of looking forward to, and then over the last week. I know. So when I went to Chicago over the weekend, we took the train there. So it took us 7 hours, by the way, to make that
That's what your
stupid
wife
train.
was telling me, yeah.
The train ride there because we got stuck behind. I guess it was a bunch of freight traffic.
Yeah.
So we got a 3-hour delay. So anyway, I had lots of time to look at the stuff.
Right.
And I actually came up with there's like 14, 15 different titles I got on here that I was really kind of looking forward to. And there's some kind of obscure stuff. So I used to have a pretty decent record collection.
Nothing like what you have now.
No, nothing like I got now. And then when I moved out, I mentioned before, when I moved out, my parents threw all my stuff away.
Yeah.
So I had Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke.
Yep, I remember.
Well, Record Store Day, they're releasing a 7-inch picture disc. So that's and I don't. They didn't have the quantity list on there, but that was one of the things I was kind of looking forward to.
Right.
And then, do you have Dirty Diamonds by Alice Cooper?
No.
That's being released. There's 900 of them being released.
Are you shitting me?
No.
Because the reason I don't have this because it's like $250.
Yeah. So
Buy it used.
Yeah. So they're releasing 900 of Alice Cooper's Dirty Diamonds on Record Store Day.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Even if I just get that, that's awesome because it's like.
But that's
honestly,
like
that's
I said,
one of my favorite Alice Cooper.
They're only
albums.
doing 900 of them, so there's not going to be a lot of them.
only 900.
Only 900.
Shit. We get paid next week, right?
We do.
Okay, cool. I spent a lot of money this week.
We get paid the day before Record Store Day, so yes, that works. Another one I kind of felt that I didn't originally pay much attention to, but if they have extra copies of them, I might grab one. Is the story so far? It's volume 2. It's B-sides from Def Leppard.
Oh.
They're doing 2,000 of them, and I think it's like B-sides from the mid to late 80s era.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll look for that if it's available. Another one I was looking at was, and this is one I saw originally that I really wanted. It's the 10-inch London Fog from the Doors, and it's a recording. I believe it's one of their earliest, or if not their first live recording.
Okay.
So
Is
I thought
that the whiskey?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
But
I thought their first performance was at the whiskey.
I think according to the movie it was, but I don't think it was recorded. This is their actual first recording.
First record, okay.
But they're doing 11,000 of those, so there should be.
You won't have any trouble.
I shouldn't have a problem getting that one. I think I've only got one other 10-inch, so that'd be my.
I've got one. Was it last year's Record Store Day for Jethro Tull? Yeah, it was last year's. It was a 10-inch.
What one was that?
It was the original Moth single with 2 extra songs on it.
Oh, okay. I know I've seen it. I've seen it in Dearborn, but another one I saw that I thought was really interesting is it's from Bob Dylan. It's called it's Blood on the Tracks, but it's the test pressings.
Huh.
So they're doing 7,500 of the test pressings, which would be really interesting. That's Tangled in Blue.
Okay.
Was on that album.
Yep. Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's something that's coming out. Green Day's Woodstock '94. That's
the other
obviously
one
something I really wanted.
Absolutely.
That was one of the first things I saw. They're doing 6,800 of those, so that should be something that should be pretty easy to get. Also, I'm not too concerned.
That and apparently Dirty Diamonds are the two that I most. There was another one, but now I don't even care about that. It's just the Green Day and the Alice Cooper one.
Yeah. The Alice Cooper one for sure. Because when I was going through a list, I didn't see that originally. I just saw
Neither
that
did I.
yesterday, the day before when I was
shit
going
my
through.
pants.
Yeah. Well, don't do that.
Too late.
Another one that I didn't see until just recently was Serial Killer Sounds from Green Jelly.
Really?
So, and that's got was it Three Little Pigs?
Yep.
That's on that. They're doing 1,500 of those, so that's kind of a limited release.
Yeah.
I was also looking forward to From the Fires by Greta Van Fleet, that's their double. That was their double EP that they released.
Yeah, that was the other one I was
in 2017, I think.
Yeah.
They're doing 7,000 of those, so that shouldn't be
too bad.
That shouldn't be too bad. And then Jethro Tull's releasing North Sea Oil. It's a 10-inch. What is it? What's on that though?
I don't know, but it's a similar situation. It was the North Sea Oil was a single, so it was one song on each side, 45, and this is a 10-inch, so it's two songs on each side.
But it's nothing that's unreleased though, right?
No.
From what
I think the original single was North Sea Oil, and then King Henry's Madrigal was on the other side. And I think they probably put Holman O'Ryan on it. I
Okay.
think, so.
Because I heard an interview with Ian Anderson not too long ago, or it was within the last year or two, where he said there's really no unreleased.
Oh yes, there is.
According to him, he said there's not.
That they haven't found.
Okay.
They found like boxes of unreleased shit.
Oh, okay.
Over the last, say, 5 years, they've released almost a whole album's worth of new material.
Yeah.
But they're doing it with each subsequent recording. So, like, if it was recorded in '74, they released.
Okay, I got you.
So there was 2 songs with War Child. There was 2 songs with Too Old to Rock and Roll. A couple songs with Songs from the Wood. 5 songs with fucking Heavy Horses. And there's supposed to be, I think, 2 or 3 at least with this one, with Stormwatch coming out.
Oh, I'm surprised. I wonder why he said that there was really nothing unreleased then.
I don't know.
Because that interview was from
Heavy Horses came out a year ago on my birthday, March 7th, and there was 5 unreleased tracks on that.
Yeah, and the interview I saw that he did, I want to say was within the last year.
And I happen to know for a fact that there's at least 4 tracks that were recorded in '95 for Roots to Branches that were never released.
Yeah.
At least 2 for .com.
I don't know.
So
But yeah, they're doing 6,000 of North Sea Oil, so that shouldn't be too difficult to grab.
no, and I'll pick it up. And Intel's not, they're not as mainstream, so it shouldn't be too hard to get.
No,
Those are the ones I always get. When it's always the Tall Record Store Day stuff that I pick up, weeks after.
yeah.
So.
Billy Joel's releasing Live at Carnegie Hall from '77. So I mean that's.
I don't know if I'd want to buy it, but if you buy it, I'll listen to it.
They're releasing 3,000 of those. Another one I didn't see till just recently is they're releasing Janis Joplin's Woodstock performance.
Really?
Yeah, they're releasing 3,000 of those. Do you know who Chuck Mosley is?
Name sounds familiar.
So he was one of the
Promoters or whatever.
No, he was the second lead singer of Faith No More.
Oh,
So Courtney Love was, I think, the first singer
okay.
of Faith No
So
More.
this is the guy that we're familiar with Faith.
No.
Oh, okay. So before
So
him.
Chuck Mosley got kicked out of Faith No More because they said it was because of erratic behavior, like being drunk or stoned on stage and not
Right.
singing and showing up late, and so they kicked him out of the band.
Okay.
And
Is that
then
why Courtney Love left too? Because that sounds like her too.
yeah, I don't know why she left, but she left, and then Chuck Mosley was the singer for a while. They had some level of fame, and then he left, and then the other guy took over, and then they released Epic.
Okay.
So they got hugely popular after Chuck Mosley left the band.
Gotcha.
But he's done some other he's done a lot of music throughout the years.
Okay.
So he started recording a couple of tracks a year or two back, and then he died. So they're releasing, it's called Chuck Mosley Joe Have Session number 2. It's a 7-inch, it's 2 songs. It's literally the last 2 songs that Chuck Mosley ever recorded. And it's going to be super hard.
Rare.
It's going to be hard to find. They pressed 1,000 of them. They're only selling 600 of them on Record Store Day. I guess that's all that's left. Everything, but they said, because I saw an interview with the guy from the record company that's releasing them, and he said that everything that they have was sold out in pre-orders. So whatever's out there on Record Store Day is it. So that's going to be something. If I see it, obviously I'm going to grab it because it sounds really interesting. And they're not going to release it digitally. It's not going to be released on CD. Nothing. It's only going to be that 7-inch.
Okay.
And it's done on black vinyl because I guess they were super late to
Do something special.
do something with it. So yeah, they just didn't have time to do anything. They wanted
Still,
to do it.
I think the material itself speaks. Is what you're buying, what you're paying for.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. So the 2 songs, one of them is a Faith No More song that was recorded after he left the band. So it's a Faith No More song that he had nothing to do with.
But he recorded his version of it.
Yeah, he recorded a version of it. And then he did a cover of Nothing Compares to You by Prince.
Okay.
So it'd be interesting.
Huh.
Speaking of that, I saw a video of what's the lead singer of Soundgarden? Chris Cornell. I saw a live version he did acoustic of Nothing Compares to You. It was awesome. Actually, I think Mandy posted on
I was gonna say,
Facebook.
I think I saw it on Facebook or something.
Yeah, but it was a really good version of it.
Yeah,
But
well, Chris Cornell was one of those rare voices.
oh yeah, of course.
You know, he had the voice.
Another thing that's coming out for Record Store Day is The Black Parade is Dead by My Chemical Romance. I don't know what it is. I'm a big My Chemical Romance fan. There wasn't a quantity listed even on Record Store Day's website, so I'm not really sure how many of these things are releasing in this one. But I'll probably pick that up if I see it.
Is it a sequel or like a remixing or something?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's probably a remix of it because the band's not together anymore.
Oh, okay.
Their lead singer he's on his own solo career now. But a couple other things that they're releasing for Record Store Day: the Rolling Stones, Through the Past Darkly, and then Big Hits, High Tides, and Green Grass. They're releasing 7,000 of each of those, which I'll probably pick them up if I see them.
I almost bought Sticky Fingers the other day.
Yeah, I've looked at it a couple of times, and there's a couple other I'm not a huge Rolling Stones fan.
Yeah,
there's a couple other albums I'll probably end up buying.
A year ago, I would have said I'll never own a Rolling Stones album. Now I think there's quite a few actually.
Yeah. And then there's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay, the soundtrack.
The soundtrack. They're releasing 3,000 of those. But if I don't buy it then, they're releasing a non-Record Store Day version of it later in the month.
Right.
So I'll get that at some point. And then the last thing I was really interested in was, and I didn't know that they were releasing this till just recently, and there's not a quantity on the website, so I'm not sure how many they're doing, is they're re-releasing the Woodstock Mono recording.
Okay.
Which I'd never had it on vinyl. I think I had
You did have it on vinyl.
The original Woodstock recording? No.
You had Woodstock on vinyl. I don't know.
Did I?
It was a double album. You had it, yeah.
Well, this is a triple album.
Okay. Well, what you had was a double album.
I know I had it on cassette.
Well, I remember you having it on vinyl.
Huh. I don't know. Well,
And you
anyway.
had a bootlegger, copy of the movie too, if memory serves. Or your mom did.
Oh no! The movie I recorded off HBO
Right.
back in the day with those things called
VHS tapes.
VHS tapes.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. I mean, I think there's over 500 releases for Record Store Day. I mean, there's just a ton of
They've
them.
definitely added to it since I looked last.
Yeah, because the first time I looked at it, I was like, wasn't really impressed by anything.
Well, when I looked at it, we were at work. We were at the same station, and
Oh, were we?
yeah, I was like, "Hey, look!" And it was like this and this. And
Oh,
you're like,
okay.
yeah.
I don't know. Was there anything else on Record Store Day that?
No, I'm really excited about the Alice Cooper one. I really hope I get a copy of it because it's one of the few that I'm missing.
Well, get your ass there early.
I got to work too.
I know. I'll be standing in line. You can come stand in line with me because I'm off.
Well, you have my schedule, so I haven't looked at my schedule yet. So if I go in later that night,
You do go in later that day.
so 11. Yeah, I'll probably reach up there then.
There were some other releases for the month of April, which I was really kind of surprised. I figured with Record Store Day being in April, I figured everything would probably be released then.
Right.
But there's not. April 5th, which was, if you're listening to this on Sunday, is going to be
2
days ago. A Real Big Fish released Life Sucks, Let's Dance. I think it's a new album. I'm not sure.
I'm not familiar with it.
I haven't heard of it before. And then Yoko Ono released the Wedding album.
Yeah, I saw that at Dearborn Music the other day.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
How much was it? Do you know off the
It
top
was
of
a
your head?
box set. It's about $100
Was
because
it?
they released like a 4 or 5 record set of the White Album too, which is like 109.
Yeah. I was never a big fan of the White album. I mean, it's got some good songs.
It's got a lot of good songs on it though.
I guess. I mean, I got the remastered version.
Yeah,
but,
that's all you need.
yeah.
This has like demos and a bunch of other like mixes and
Oh,
stuff.
I got you. And that was the other thing about Record Store Day was there's a lot of stuff coming out that's either live or like demo versions of older albums. And I think that's kind of the thing that put a lot of people off.
Right. Sorry about all the sniffling, guys. I'm just my nose is all
Ill.
stuffy.
Yeah, so it's a lot of the stuff is stuff you've heard before. It's just like different versions of it. April 12th, Nirvana's releasing Live at the Paramount, which is a 4-album box set. Yeah, but knowing how Courtney Love has her claws and all that stuff, it's probably going to be $200 probably.
Easily. Because I was going to ask you earlier, because when we went out to all those other stores that were kind of like far away from us, but not, a bit of a drive, I almost picked up Incesticide. And if memory serves, like $39 at the UHF.
Okay.
Dearborn Music had it the other day. It was $52.99.
Was it really?
Yeah. I was like,
why?
I saw. I was like, oh wow! I grabbed it and I didn't even look at it at first. And I was just carrying it around. So I picked up a couple others. I just started looking at the prices. I'm like, what the fuck? $52? I'm like, no, I'm not buying that one today.
No, you can get off Discogs for a lot cheaper than that. Yeah, and I don't know if I guess I don't think we ever talked about it on the show. But yeah, a month or so back now, Ian and I went through this like record.
We took a little day trip.
Yeah, basically went to all these bunch of different new record stores we'd never been to, and we went to Third Man Records in Detroit. It was pretty sweet. I mean, if you're into vinyl, you should definitely check it out.
Because you
it's a
can
cool
like
place.
stand and kind of watch them like
press the vinyl
and stuff and packaging it and stuff. It was pretty cool.
But yeah, on April 19th is when they're releasing that non-record store day version of Into the Spider-Verse, and then Passion's releasing Follow You Anywhere.
I don't know who that is.
It's a religious group.
Oh.
And then April 26th, I'm really interested to see how much this is. It's from John Coltrane, Coltrane 58 Prestige Recordings.
Okay.
It's an 8 LP box set.
Oh shit, that's gonna be expensive.
It's gonna be expensive, but I fucking love Coltrane.
I know. I was gonna say it might be worth it.
Coltrane's one of those artists where I can just like put on anything and listen to it.
That's how I feel about Robert Johnson.
Yeah. And you're starting to see a lot more of this Coltrane stuff come out. Because John Coltrane recorded everything.
Right.
Every little session he did, they always recorded it. And his kids are basically just trying to make a buck off it. So they're just recording.
Well, it's,
which, whatever. I mean,
if it's we're willing to pay for it, so what the hell?
Oh, yeah. They're making a lot more money off of him dead than he ever did alive.
Right. Well, that's Robert Johnson died. He recorded like a shitload of music and then died. He never made a penny off his shit.
Oh, really?
He died poor.
What year did he die? Was it the
39? And
was it really?
He did most of his recording between 36 and 37.
Oh, geez, I thought it was later than that.
No, he died young.
I thought it was the late 40s, early 50s when he died.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty
no, you're
sure
probably right. You're probably
he
right.
died very young, and it wasn't much. Like I said, he didn't make anything off of his shit.
Probably why you don't see a whole lot of it.
It's out there, but he didn't record a lot either. I mean, he recorded a bunch, maybe like 3 or 4 albums worth, but it was all in the span of like between like 36 and 38, I think.
And that blues album you bought from
had 2 tracks of his.
There's 2 tracks on there. Yeah, so if you go to Third Man Records, they've got all the stuff that they've pressed.
Yeah,
and that was one
they
of
didn't
the
have
albums.
anything just Robert Johnson. He was on like this best of blues thing, but it's a good record. Yeah, if you're in Detroit, pick it up because there's a couple
I'm
artists.
sure you can probably get it at the Third Man in Nashville also.
Possibly, or even online through their website. Maybe.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you can.
But it's like I said, there's a couple artists on there that I'd never even heard of, so it was really, really cool. And it's like with Coltrane, you can just put it on and lose yourself or do whatever you want.
Coltrane's one of those things. Like if I'm doing homework and there's no one here, no one home.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm putting on, Coltrane and Live from Birdland or something like that,
right.
or Blue Train, and it's something great just to have on the background.
Right.
I don't know. That's all I had for like as far as releases.
Excuse me.
Is there anything you've picked up lately?
Well, yeah. I mean, nothing spectacular. Just albums I needed or wanted, but picked up a couple of Sabbath albums and the 50th anniversary of Jethro Tull's first album just came out on vinyl.
Have you listened to that yet?
Not yet.
Oh, because I've bought it also, but I haven't listened to it.
I was with my dad. He picked up the CD package and we played it in the car, but it's not the same.
No. Yeah, because your dad's he's not into vinyl, is he?
I think he's coming around to it, but I don't think he'll ever get back into it because he just doesn't have the space.
And
he's one of those not weird. He spends money on the equipment. It's all about the equipment with him.
Yeah.
He's got like $5,000 speakers.
He's got the audiophile system.
Yeah. Which
I'd love to have, but
right. And honestly, that system would be perfect for vinyl, but because of the money he's got invested in it and the space it takes up, his receiver, I'm not shitting you, is 200 pounds.
What?
Yeah, it's a monster receiver. It's like it weighs a fucking ton. and it's a $4,000 receiver.
Holy shit!
Yeah, he doesn't fuck around with it. But he just doesn't know where to put a vinyl, a record player, you know. And quite honestly, at his age, he just sits and watches movies through the stereo now. It's not. He doesn't really listen to music as much as he used to when he was younger.
And with vinyl, it's you got to sink a lot of money into it.
You do.
I know I have.
Well, I was gonna say you don't have to. Just because
you don't have
did,
to.
But
yeah. I mean, I picked up I went last week. I did get "Life Won't Wait" by Rancid, which I was listening to that today. I posted on
that just came out
Instagram.
recently too, didn't it? Like a couple weeks ago.
No. It's been around for a while. It's been on vinyl. I was trying to buy.
Rancid just released something on vinyl in late February, early March.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think it
I
was.
don't know. It wasn't "Life Won't Wait" because I tried.
It was one of those.
I was bidding on copies on YouTube on eBay. I don't know why you want to say YouTube. I was bidding on copies on eBay a year.
I sent you a list of some records that I saw came out like late February, early March, but I don't remember what were on the emails. What was on there? Silverchair was one of them.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot to look for that too. I was
Neon
Ballroom,
Yeah.
which I'd like to pick that up. That'd be
it's a good album.
It's a good album. I did pick up No Doubt's first album, which I haven't listened to it yet, but
Tragic Kingdom.
No. That was their second album.
Okay.
This is the album with Gwen Stefani's brother before he left the band.
Okay. I don't know much about him because I'm not a big No Doubt fan.
You were never a big ska fan, but it was never released on vinyl. It was just re-released on vinyl not too long ago, so I picked that up. And then used, I did pick up a used copy of Night Moves by Bob Seger.
Yeah.
Which I've seen a lot of them, and I've been hesitant to buy them, but because they always have that ring on the outside. I don't know if it's the darkness of the album cover, but it's got the ring on the outside of the album cover from the vinyl being inside of it. And this one didn't. So I was really
cool.
kind of...
That's really, it's, you know, when you bookend your records, you're sliding them in and out, and they're thin, because back in the day, everything was thin. The records were thinner, the packaging was thinner.
Exactly.
Everything was pressed together, it was sliding in and out, that the indent of the record itself.
So pretty much all the Night Moves copies I've seen always look like shit because of that. But this one looked great. So I picked it. I picked it up for like $8, so I was pretty happy about that.
I haven't really looked at Seeger's stuff. I'm pretty sure. I think he's been releasing a lot of it, re-releasing some of it repressed. So I could be wrong, but
it's freaking expensive.
Is it?
Like
I mean, I wouldn't want a lot of it, but Night Moves would be
Night Moves is a great one. I did pick up not too long ago a new copy of his greatest hits.
Right.
Which I didn't. They actually released two versions of it. They released a black version, which I bought, and then they released a purple translucent copy.
Okay.
Which was like $50.
Really?
And that was like the only one I kept seeing in the store. Was the $50 one. I was like, I'm not paying $50 for that damn album. Right. I mean, it's a good album, but I wasn't paying $50 for it.
There's very few albums that I will pay $50 for.
And I think I ended up buying a new copy for like $20 off of Discogs.
Okay.
Of the black vinyl. And then I did find, I don't know if you've ever, if you remember this band, but the band's name was Enough's Enough.
Familiar with them, yeah.
So
it was like ENUFF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So their debut album came out in 89 or 90. I don't remember what year it was. But it was like hair metal was like dead.
Right.
And they released a hair metal album.
Right.
And I don't know if you remember the album cover, but it's just a black cover with a green, like a neon green peace sign. And it had a couple of decent songs off of it. And they were like power ballad songs and things like that.
Right.
Well, I found a used copy. I mean, it was over $20 I paid for this.
Right, good condition. Probably.
Yeah. Well, no, it was like there was even like a rip on the on the album cover, and it was still. But I'd never seen it on vinyl.
Right. Well, if it came out in '89, there's no reason it wouldn't have been.
Or '90. Well, it was. I want to say it was '90 when it was released. But you got to think, 1990 vinyl was like.
It was on its way out.
It was well on its way out.
There was a lot of stuff that came out in, say, between up till like 94. Most of it got a limited vinyl release, to a degree.
Yeah.
But
that's why I was really surprised to see. Yeah, I walked into Dearborn Music and it's hanging on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, what the?
Yeah, they knew what they had then. That's why it was $20, yeah. But it's funny.
But I
you
was
mentioned
surprised
that.
it was only $20.
There was
though.
an article. I should have read the article. I was like, I'll go back to it, and then it never came back up in my feed. But it was an interview with Slash, and he said grunge did not kill the hair bands.
Mhm.
They killed themselves.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. When just reading the headline, like, yeah, maybe I didn't know what his point was, but so like I said, I didn't read the article, but
Well, because if you think about it, yeah, hair metal was definitely dead by 1990, right?
well, yes.
And grunge didn't really like hit the mainstream until 92.
91. Nevermind came out in 91.
Was it 91? Okay, fine. But still, I mean, it was.
So did
I think
Tenzin,
there was a gap of
a little
where
bit. I think with hair bands, it was just like
I think everyone just got tired of it.
Well, it was getting to a point where they were all the same.
Yeah.
They were blending together, and you couldn't really make out the difference between.
Which you can say the same thing with grunge in the late 90s.
Yeah, but at that point, it was turning into like the Nickelback
Yeah.
thing anyway.
Yeah. Plastic bullshit.
Yeah. Have you seen that? I don't know if it's in the Christmas Deadpool or if it's just something that was separate. But you know how the Christmas is the PG-13 version of the movie, and it's told like Princess Bride with Fred Savage in bed.
Yeah.
Well, he makes a comment about Nickelback being a shitty band, and then Ryan Reynolds, aka Deadpool, does this long diatribe why they're the greatest band ever, and then they start singing a Nickelback song.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah,
Because Nickelback is terrible.
I know they're terrible. I'm not. I just thought it was kind of
Nickelback is everything that's wrong with 2000s rock music, I would say.
I'd say a good chunk of it, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, anyone that's out there listening, if you actually want to check out my vinyl collection, if you go on Discogs, my username is NickFowler11.
Yeah,
Ian does not have his vinyl on there yet, but
not yet. I will.
I've got all mine on there.
Well, you've got all yours, and you just started collecting. All my vinyl I've had. Before I even knew Discogs existed, I already had 100 records.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of came into it as you were collecting, and you could update it as you're going. I have now 200 records to put in there.
Yeah.
You know, so
Just I mean, you know, put them all in
that's
there
a
once,
day.
but
That's a day's worth of work.
It's
if I just
not.
sit
It
down.
doesn't because that's the great thing about Discogs is it's got you take your little phone and if you've got a lot of new reissued stuff, you can scan the barcode on the back
Right.
and just click on the release. That makes it.
I do have one record in there because I was at work and had the opportunity to just get on there. It's like, I'll start doing it now. And I typed in one record and then I got busy.
Okay.
So I don't even remember what album it was.
Oh, speaking of albums, obviously, because that's all we've talked about so far. I don't know if it was on the podcast now. I was talking about Led Zeppelin 2's the R.L. Ludwig.
Yeah,
release.
I think that's Record Store Day, isn't it? Or is that just something else we were talking about?
No. I think we were just
What
talking
in
about.
my mind?
I saw a RL copy for sale. It was it was $150, but
Huh. I still wish I knew what the difference was.
they said there's a very big sound difference between the RL versions and the regular version.
Huh.
Because there's only a certain amount of volume you can put on
Any type of...
or frequency wise,
Right.
that you can put on vinyl because there's frequency limitations to it. So they kind of cut back on the sound to make it fit better on the vinyl.
Huh.
So it's just a different edit is what it is.
I see. Yeah, interesting. So what's the deal with HD vinyl?
Yeah, so there's this company. Nice segue there, Ian.
Yeah, I just
So, how about that local sports team?
right.
So yeah, there's a company called Rebeat, I think is the name of it. If I scroll down through here real quick. Yeah, so in early 2018, there's an Australian company named Rebeat that received it was like a $4.5 or $4.8 million investment into their vinyl program to create this HD vinyl that's going to be coming out here in a couple months.
Oh, okay.
They're going to be releasing the first couple of albums. But if you think about it, vinyl records hasn't really changed the process. Really hasn't changed since the early 1900s.
Yeah, I mean the only difference is they were able to once they started recording an analog tape, they were able to take that and make press records. But before that, they were just literally recording onto records.
Yeah. But so this Rebeat company, I guess they started out as just a regular CD and DVD distributor in early 2000s, 2001, 2002, something like that. And then by 2006, they had evolved into a digital music distributor. And then in 2016, they started working on this HD vinyl kind of idea. You know, the vinyl revolution kind of started in the 2008, 2009, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So it was quite a few years after that when they kind of got into the vinyl kind of market. But yeah, it was 2016 when they came up with the idea of using lasers to kind of streamline the process. And this year, I want to say just last month, I don't remember the name of the program, but they unveiled their 3D software program that they're using to kind of map out the sound and then laser etch it.
Right.
But they said it's like a 24+ hour process to etch etch a stamper.
Okay. Now or with the new press?
With the laser. And I guess I should probably go back and kind of go through the traditional way of making vinyl.
Okay.
For anyone that's listening that hasn't, I mean, there's tons of YouTube videos out there to watch, but so basically what they do is they'll first they take the music and they'll master it and optimize it for pressing for the record pressing, because pressing vinyl from a music file is different than converting it to CD or MP3 or anything like that, because there's just different there's sound limitations to vinyl. So the sound engineer, he's going to take the music file, whether it's or I guess it doesn't even have to be a file. It could be original tape recording.
Right.
And the engineer is going to he'll basically run it through the EQ. He'll change levels and kind of limit the tracks because of, like I said, the sound variations. And then a lot of times they'll actually have to go back and resequence the audio also, which isn't something you see a lot with older vinyl. So say like pre-mid, say probably
they didn't get into
early 90s.
Well, I was going to say they didn't even start having digital recording until the mid 80s.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about like pure resequencing. Like if you take an album from say 1972 and look at the vinyl copy of it, and then look at a digital copy of it, it's gonna be in the same order.
Okay.
If you take an album from say 2001 or 2000, and then look at a vinyl copy, and then compare it to a digital copy, a lot of times they're going to be out of sequence.
Oh, okay.
Because they've got to make them fit on the sides.
Right.
So that's why I said that's why I meant by they would resequence the tracks. And then a lot of times the loudest, most dynamic tracks will be early on each side of the vinyl.
Okay.
And obviously they go through other sound equalization steps, but basically get it all ready. And then they're going to make a master from that engineered copy. So they're going to take a lathe and they're going to imprint that sound into a lacquer, a lacquer plate, which is the semi-solid. I don't even know what it is, but it's just not. I know it's not solid because after they said they'll cut that lacquer, and then if you don't get that lacquer out to be pressed within a day or two, you'll start losing sound quality because it's going to go back to its original form.
Right. Well, the video I watched, they make that lacquer, and then they make a nickel or silver or nickel.
Well, that's what I'm going to get to. I'm getting to that. So they'll take the lacquer plate, and then once it's cut, they'll send it off to a processing plant where it can be electroformed, or sometimes it's called electroplating.
Right.
And it's a rather toxic process, and it's one of the things that this company that's doing the HD vinyl, one of the reasons they wanted to go a different route was primarily for this electroforming process, because it's so toxic, and you've got so much bio waste from this stuff. So the electroforming, so you're making a fortified copy of that lacquer, so it can withstand the pressure of repeated pressings. You know? So the lacquer is first sprayed with a silver solution, and it creates a copy that they call a mother.
Right.
Okay. So you got the lacquer. And you also have to remember, every time you make a copy of this, you're losing sound quality.
Right.
So you're losing sound quality from the lacquer to make the mother, and then the mother is taken and put into a nickel bath to create the stamper.
Right.
And it's those stampers that they use to press the grooves into the vinyl.
Right.
So it's a copy of a copy.
Right.
Okay. And then if it's a larger run, say more than 10,000 units, there's actually another step to it. So they take that lacquer, they make a father, then they make the mother, and then it's all the stampers off of that.
Right, okay.
So it's a copy of a copy of a copy. And like I said, every single step of the process, every time they make a copy of that of the lacquer, you're losing sound quality. And so, like I said, for larger runs, you've got a bigger, more of a process to it.
Right.
And then, at that point, then the stampers will go off to the processing plant. But like I said, if you're making that father to make those, the father to make the mother to make the extra stampers, then you're going to use that to make. And that's where you get multiple pressings from.
Right.
Is because each one of those stampers you can get 1,000 pressings tops out of. So if you're doing 10, 15, 20,000 pressings, that's a lot of stampers you're going through. You're going through 10, 20, 30 stampers.
Right.
And so they take the stamper and put it on a hydraulic press, and that's where they're going to press the vinyl. So they take the vinyl pellets, which they form a solid, hockey puck basically looking.
I was just going to say it looks like a hockey puck. Yeah.
But they call it biscuit.
Right.
So they take this biscuit and they sandwich, and I didn't know this till I started reading up on it, but they actually, when the labels on a record aren't glued on there.
No, they're pressed.
They take the biscuit and they sandwich it between the two stickers. They put it in the press, and then it's the vinyl's pressed into it. And the biscuit is sandwiched between the two labels and heated with steam that's roughly about 300 degrees, and compressed with more than 2,000 square pounds per square inch.
Okay.
I think I said that right.
So square pounds, so pounds per square inch.
Well, the way it's written on the website I got it from, it says 2,000 square pounds per square inch.
Okay, I've never heard it put that way.
Neither did I. That's why I wanted to make sure I said it the right way. But so yeah, the labels from the record are held on there just from pressure from the vinyl processing.
Right, yeah.
And so they'll take. I want to say there's like 10 to 20% of the records that they actually press, that fail the quality standards.
Yep.
So they'll take that vinyl and they'll regrind it, and then reuse it. So a majority of the vinyl that you have, pretty much everything that's pressed in the U.S., in the U.K., in Europe, is going to be a mix of 70% new and 30% used vinyl.
Right.
In their blend. And that's why Japanese pressings are generally more expensive
because they use strictly virgin vinyl.
Yeah, so in vinyl, they have to use 100% virgin vinyl in Japan. So, and I'm not sure if that 70-30 mixture is different with colored or clear vinyl.
It used to be. I know there was back in the day when records were record. I mean, when that was like the primary physical media. Colored vinyl was frowned upon because it was a different type of.
It was a cheaper vinyl.
It was a cheaper vinyl,
or at least it was thought to be.
Nowadays, it's all coming from the same place. So I mean, I don't really see any difference in it. Overall, I prefer black vinyl, but certain things, certain specific releases, I definitely go out of my way to find the color, like with the Alice Cooper's.
Yeah, well, all of Alice Cooper's new stuff is all
of the new pressing is all
vinyl.
colored, so. And
I don't know. I kind of used to be on that same boat, whereas like, if I had my choice between black and colored vinyl, I would just pick the black vinyl because it's just
it's old school. It's the way it's supposed to be.
It's how I grew up.
Right.
But now I'm to the point now where it's like now if I have the option, I'm going to pick colored vinyl.
Right. As long as it's not like overly expensive for just the colored vinyl.
Yeah, if it's a slight price difference, I'll pay $5 more.
Right.
To have the colored version. It just looks cool.
It just
you hold it, you're looking at it, and especially like some of the stuff I've got, it's like different swirl patterns, and I've got one that's candy corn.
Yeah, and a lot of the colored vinyl is see through too.
Yeah, it's got it's translucent. I
was listening to From the Inside by Alice Cooper the other day, and it's like a light sea green or sea blue or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's very transparent. It's really odd to watch it spin. It was really, I was kind of mesmerized by it.
I've got some that are almost clear.
Yeah, do I have a clear one, or I know I've seen a clear one.
Yeah, I
don't
know.
think I have any that are clear.
I've got one. It's clear vinyl. Right. I mean, it's not like crystal clear.
Right.
Clear as you can think or have vinyl look. I guess, but it's clear-ish.
Right.
But yeah, so this the Rebeat, which is the company that's doing the HD vinyl, their process is they're gonna laser etch the 3D image of the vinyl into a ceramic stamper.
Oh, okay.
So you're getting rid of the nickel baths and all this and all these toxic different steps, and you're just gonna basically etch it into the ceramic.
Right into the stamper.
Yes, and with a traditional stamper, through the traditional music making process, with like I said before, you're only going to get roughly 1,000 pressings out of
per stamper.
Per stamper. And if you take the 1,000 copies they're pressed off that one stamper, copy one is going to sound very different. There's going to be a very different sound from 1 to 1,000.
Right.
Just because every time you press that stamper, you lose sound quality on it. And with this HD vinyl, with Rebeat's ceramic stamper, from what they're saying is you can take that ceramic stamper and you can press 5,000, 8,000, 10,000 off that
ceramic,
one stamper.
Unless it breaks, you could keep going forever.
Exactly. And you're not going to lose sound quality on it.
Right.
I guess some of the issues they've had so far in the process is because it's cutting it with a laser, it can almost be too much of a cut.
Right.
So that's kind of what they're doing with this new program, this 3D program that they've created. It's kind of finding a balance.
Right.
Now,
when
process.
You brought it up to me, I was wondering, is there the potential, especially if they can cut finer, is there a potential for being able to increase the capacity?
Yes. Okay. So they said, because right now you're going to get
about 22 minutes.
About 20 minutes.
Yeah. 22 minutes.
From what I've been told,
and
what I've read, your max volume, your max space per side on vinyl is 18 to 20 minutes.
Right.
Once you get past 20 minutes, you're compressing the audio to make it fit on there.
Right.
So with this process, they're saying with the HD process, you're going to be able to get 30 minutes per side.
Which is actually a huge difference.
And the reason and the way they're able to do that is because the laser is able to cut it finer. Right. There's actually a smaller space between the grooves.
Which that then raises the question: how does that affect your traditional needles?
No, they said eventually it'll probably get to the point where you have companies making HD needles.
Right.
But they said your standard needle, your standard stylus is gonna sound. It's gonna be the same. You'll be able to use it. HD vinyl will be backwards compatible.
Right.
And
to use common jargon.
Yeah. Well, they even said the same thing. So yeah, your standard needle is going to be able to play HD vinyl, no problem.
Right. Huh. To me, I like the idea
because the process of the vinyl isn't the vinyl's not changing.
Right.
It's just the process, the way the stamper is made. That's where it all comes in.
It seems to me like when you cut out all that chemicals and everything else, it seems to me like it would make it cheaper to make. Theoretically.
We'll see. And I'm interested to see how this stuff sounds.
Right. I can't wait to get my first HD vinyl record and actually put it on and really sit down
and because they're also saying that the because of the process, you're going to be able to get higher frequency on vinyl. So you're going to be able to get more volume on it, sound wise.
Right.
Because that's the thing is with vinyl, compared to digital music, CD.
Right.
When you compress a digital file, when you compress it, it makes the high louder.
Right.
Whereas you compress audio on vinyl, it actually makes the high quieter.
Right.
So it's got an opposite effect. So that's why if you get audio that's compressed too much on vinyl, your record will sound quieter.
Yeah.
So they're saying with HD vinyl, because of the extra space on it, it won't be as compressed. So you'll have a better quality sound, a higher frequency sound.
Huh. It's fascinating stuff, really. I mean, I just, like I said, I like the idea of being able to get better capacity. Because it would make it cheaper, because in cases where they've had to make a double album, they can make
a single.
Right. Yeah,
we've talked before. I don't remember what episode it was, but we were talking about the cost of vinyl. I want to say there was like a $6 to $8 vinyl raw cost included in it.
Right.
So if you're going from, and which is the reason why double LPs are $45 or more,
right,
and a regular single disc is $25 up to maybe $30. So yeah, if you're able to take a double LP and turn it into a single LP, then yeah, even if there is a price difference in the cost of the process, it should balance out.
Right. Well, I mean, once you buy the equipment, if you're a place that presses vinyl, that laser is going to cost a lot of money. The plates are going to cost a lot of money.
Well, I would say the pressing plants won't be the ones doing the laser etching.
If it becomes it could become the standard theoretically.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So these pressing plants that they switch to this process, the initial cost would be high, but it would pay for itself in the grand scheme.
Quickly.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah. Well, the first time you do a Led Zeppelin pressing or something like that, and you press out 15 to 20,000.
Right.
Instead of
as long as they sell.
Yeah. But instead of going through that process twice to make a stamper, you only have to do it once. There's less steps, so theoretically they would save money faster.
Right.
It'd pay for itself faster is what I meant.
Yeah, for sure. It sounds cool to me. I can't wait to find out more.
But there's a website. If you go on, I don't remember. I should have it's hdvinyl.org is the website.
Yeah.
So you can go on their website. You can check them out. You can sign up for their newsletter. I think they do a new email updates and things like that. I know I do follow them on Facebook. I follow them on Instagram also.
Okay.
So yeah, if you look up HD Vinyl, you'll be able to find them. Just check them out.
Yeah, definitely. I was just quickly going to check and see. I wonder if there's videos about it yet.
Oh, I'm sure there probably is. I don't think they've gotten to the. Last time I heard anything about it, they were still in the process of doing test pressings,
right,
of just noise.
Okay.
They would just etch a scream or something like that and do a test pressing out of that.
Right.
And see. Because they're not going to go through the process of licensing music to try to test press it,
right,
do a test pressing.
Well, there's no reason they can't just make noises and talk or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very cool. So
I don't know. That's all I got, though, Ian.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating shit. I can't wait.
I think it's just
I'm trying not to be as talkative as I normally am because I'm just...
He's ill.
I'm ill.
It's ill, Ian. But...
I'm illin'.
Strictly Ian.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just... I think it's cool, kind of cool to see that not only has vinyl made this triumphant return, I would say, over the course of the past 10 years.
It's enhancing itself. It's evolving.
It's evolving, and that's kind of the interesting thing, to see where it goes, what they're able to do with this kind of stuff, and I don't know. They've got me hooked.
Yeah, well, obviously, you spent like $10,000 on records in the last year.
Oh, it's not $10,000.
$5,000.
Maybe a little bit more, but
right. So
I bought a lot of vinyl this year.
Yeah, you bought a lot of vinyl. So have I, but nowhere near as much.
Yeah.
You're over 200, and you just started a year ago.
Yeah,
I had almost 100 to start a year ago, and I was just hitting 200.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm like if you look on my Discogs, I think I'm like 225 or something like that.
I think I'm just around there. I haven't really counted recently, but 221 because I got one for you too. Brain salad surgery by Emerson Lake and Palmer.
Oh yeah. I'll have to buy something. I always try to keep my vinyl in even numbers,
Oh,
so I'll have to buy something else.
of course you will.
I'm going to the record store on Sunday, so I'll probably buy some more.
Yeah. Record store days come a week away, so
Yeah. No, that's true. And hopefully I'll be picking up at least
I'm gonna have to go easy.
4 or 5.
I'm gonna probably just stick with 2 on that record store day thing. I just want
Yeah.
to get that Green Day and that Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
I can pick up the Jethro Tull one later, and although it probably wouldn't be much, probably $15 for that. But
I don't know. Yeah, because it's a 10-inch, so it shouldn't be too much.
yeah, no, I'm trying to think what I paid for the Moths one for last year. I think it was like $15.
Yeah. I mean, I'm interested to see, and there's a couple, like I said before, there's a couple of things that are coming out on record store day that, depending on the price,
Right.
I'd pick it up. I definitely want to pick up the Woodstock, depending on the price.
Right.
I'm not going to pay, $50-$60 for it. It's just,
Yeah.
no.
I'm with you. So, but yeah. Anyway, I think that's probably about it.
All right. Well, thanks, Ian. Thanks for coming on the show and being nice and sick for us.
Hey, you know what? I would much rather not been sick.
So, yeah, any questions or comments, you can email us at lifeingeneralpod@gmail.com.
Yes.
I changed it. And don't go to our... Well, I mean, the website will still be up for, till the end of April.
Yeah.
And then once the website comes down, then I'll start transferring stuff over to the new website.
Right.
Because the website address shouldn't change, so
Okay.
it'll just be different. But anyway,
Sounds good.
Yeah, email us any questions or comments. Check us out on Twitter and Facebook and all that jazz. And that's about it. What are we going to talk about on next episode?
I think we're talking about the progress that we've made in Michigan on weed legalization.
Yes,
Because it has become legal. It was voted in last year. We're going to kind of update, find out where we're at.
There'll be a very interesting update on the next episode of the Life in General podcast.
Yes.
So check it out. All right, guys. Well, until next time.
Talk to y'all later.
Peace.
Play my role, let me tell you about it. This shit right here, man, I'm proud about it. Only real niggas reside around me. Your old lady drop a crowd around me. Dip like I know you can, bitch. Show me the ropes like we in the ring. Got you some GoPros, you wanna hang. Shoulder to shoulder, the niggas basic. You know I won't lie. You know that I ain't for that fuck shit. You niggas alright, but I'm way better and she love it. Know that y'all sick as fuck. Here go this tissue, bro. We taking the dub, hoping you get you some. This hit like a pick me up. She taking my drugs. Know they see the sign. That's some dollar signs. Know they sick as fuck. Know they sick as fuck. Tell them get well soon. Tell them get well soon. Know you sick as fuck. Get well soon.